Hello, my name is Bryce. This is my channel, Striving Intellect, and today we're going to talk about leadership. And first of all, how to be a leader with convictions. And we're going to watch a short clip of the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, in a statement he gave recently. I believe he gave this statement actually must have been 5 or 6 hours ago, earlier today, actually. So we're going to go ahead and watch a quick clip, and then I'll go ahead and I'll talk about it.
For weeks now, we've been faced with so much uncertainty coming from President Trump. Each day brings new tariff threats. Now, President Trump is threatening tariffs on steel and aluminum. He's pointing his finger at dairy and lumber, shifting timelines, different excuses, chaos and confusion. It's hurting workers, it's hurting businesses, it's hurting investments, and it's hurting families on both sides of the border. It needs to end. That's why I've been crystal clear. Until these tariffs are off the table, until the threat of tariffs is gone for good, Ontario will not relent. We will not back down. Pausing some tariffs, making last-minute exemptions, it won't cut it. We need to end the chaos once and for all. We need to sit down, work together, and land a fair deal.
So real quick, I'm just going to go over something. So generally speaking, when you use a tariff, either you use it as leverage in order to get something that you want, or you use it in reciprocity. So reciprocal tariffs would be if somebody is putting a tariff on you, then you would actually respond with an equal or greater tariff on them. Every action has an equal reaction kind of thing, right? The other way that you would use a tariff is generally as leverage. So, for example, if you want the manufacturing for, I don't know, cars, chips, name it, could work on basically anything that could be manufactured at home in your own country, then you would actually use these tariffs as leverage in order to gain the things that you want for your economy. Whether it's transfer of manufacturing into your country, so on and so forth. Generally speaking, those are the ways that tariffs will be used and are currently being used by this administration. You could leave a tariff on. That would be more akin to a flat tax. But generally speaking, either leverage or reciprocity are the ways that most countries would use tariffs. But I'll let him go on.
A deal that gives businesses the confidence to invest. A deal that gives workers the security they need and deserve. Until then, Ontario will keep up the fight. We will apply maximum pressure to maximize our leverage. That's why today we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports. For the 1.5 million American homes and businesses that Ontario powers, homes and businesses in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. This surcharge will cost families and businesses in these states up to $400,000 each and every single day. On an average, this will add around $100 per month to the bills of hardworking Americans. Let me be clear, I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely. Believe me when I say I do not want to do this.
Okay, so shutting off the electricity of individuals of a country that you're having some type of argument with, or trade war, or even war, for example, is generally speaking seen as an act of aggression. I'm just going to say that right now. The majority of countries, for example, like, I don't know, when Russia cuts off gas to the European countries that buy gas from it during an actual war, there is an act of aggression there. Generally speaking, for most countries, that would be seen as a major act of aggression if you're purposefully trying to hurt their inhabitants by cutting off their power during wintertime. These are big words, by the way. Interesting that he's willing to go that far. And by the way, he seems to be gambling his own citizens' well-being at the same time, whether it's their jobs, their economy. From what I can see, it's all based on ideological drivings and a hatred of the individual who is the president of the United States right now. Generally speaking, most tariffs are going to be used as leverage. And from what I can see right now, the tariffs that are being put on Canada are being used as either reciprocity or leverage. But again, these are big words. I hope you have the backing. I hope you're not just saying this in order to look big and look like you're a strong man. But go on.
I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible. That's President Trump. I'd rather be working together. I want to sell the U.S. more energy, more electricity, more critical minerals. I want to make Canada and the United States the richest, most successful, safest, most secure two countries on the planet. But as Premier, my number one job is to protect the people of Ontario and in hand protect the people of Canada. I will do whatever it takes. I will fight like I've never fought before to protect Ontario. Friends, none of this makes sense. Costly.
You are gambling the livelihoods of the citizens of Ontario on a trade war that you logically can't win because your economy is a fraction of the size of the United States. I get it seems unfair, but you should not, as a good leader, gamble your own citizens' livelihoods like that. You are a feckless leader, sir.
Tariffs against your closest friends and allies do not make sense. The U.S. markets have lost trillions in value. Companies are second-guessing investments into the American economy. American workers' jobs are at risk as we speak right now. Cost of hardworking American families will only go up. It doesn't have to be this way. We are stronger when we work together. I hope we can get back to working together, creating jobs, growing our economies, lowering costs for families in both countries. We don't get there by easing up. We will remain strong. We will be relentless. We will do whatever it takes to protect Ontario.
In addition to these new retaliatory tariffs from...
Okay, so that's about it for that. That was his statement. That was Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario. So that was made earlier today. And it actually, only took about 2 hours. I'm going to switch over. This is Ground News. It's a great site. So, Ontario Premier suspends U.S. electric surcharge after call with U.S. Commerce Secretary. I mean, there's something to be said about a leader that sticks to their convictions, right? That doesn't sway with the blowing wind. Although, a lot of times with politicians, it is merely them just swaying with the blowing wind. But a leader needs to stick to his convictions, generally speaking. Although I think he's making the right decision here. Logically speaking, it is not going to work for Ontario to go to a trade war with the United States. That is just an absolute illogical thing to do. It is absolutely ridiculous. It seems as though he probably talked to some experts who actually know what they're doing. And And they told him that it would destroy his economy, which nobody wants that. By the way, nobody wants that. We love Canada. It's absolutely not something that we want to do. They're our largest trading partner. But that being said, generally speaking, if there are reciprocal tariffs, or even beyond that, if you are doing something that is harming us and our border, then we may use those tariffs as leverage to get you to stop doing those things. So, whenever you elect a leader, you should make sure that those individuals are not feckless fools. Feckless individuals who know not what they speak of and do not know anything about the things that they're talking about. That being said, this individual, Doug Ford, made the right decision. I think he made the right decision in the end of the day, and maybe that is all that matters. But it does seem like he was using his ideological drivings to gamble the livelihoods of his own citizenship in order to look like he's a strong leader or look like he's somebody who went against Donald Trump. And that is not something that you should do as a leader. So maybe, just maybe, the individuals in this province might want to think about who is leading their province. And maybe you should elect a leader who isn't a feckless fool. But that's all I have today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.